Hey guys, Dags here, getting ready to go into the second chapter of Vampyr. Hopefully on this one there are no errors that cause me to lose footage, so fingers crossed. Let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy it. Love this loading screen, it's so pretty. The amount of XP you get from citizens you choose to embrace is directly linked to their blood quality. That's always good to know. So far I haven't used the embrace function on citizens. They've all been enemies or rats. There hasn't been anybody of the known character list of whom I sunk my teeth into, with the exception of my sister at the beginning of the game, but I didn't know who that was when I clicked on the X button. So, not my fault, I didn't do it on purpose. Alright. And where's the door? There it is.
Dr. Swansea asked me to collect you, Dr. Reed. Hurry up!
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis,
What's wrong?
you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
No antiseptics at all?
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Thank you. Now let's go look for it. Alright, aha, there's the staircase. Oh, that's Milton.
Please, I feel sick. Get over here now.
Who are you?
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. Still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
Serves you right.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favor.
Only the strongest survive, then? Survival at all costs. Is that all you think about?
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. But as long as I'm treated all right, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, all like that.
Isn't he a married man?
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
Are you sure about that?
We can't escape the consequences of our actions. The past catches up with us in the end.
I ain't afraid of death. I don't hide who I am. I live my life honestly, which is more than I can say for most folks.
And who are you, then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day, I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would not come back.
Excuse me.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
I've never seen so many people dying at the same time.
Oh, I grabbed the wrong controller. I have one controller that the camera has a mind of its own, and the other one that works fine. Through the narrow street. Oh, what was that? Salison and something or other. Alright. Influenza complicated with pneumonia. Gross. Come here, Retta. Rats are gross. I hate rats. But apparently there's a trophy for eating 10 of the nasty buggers, so... Ick. Codeine, ergotamine, opium. Any more boxes to Crash Bandicoot through? Ugh. You idiots.
Watch out for them teeth! Oh, Christ! That's weird.
Crunch, 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 crunch. Crunch, 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 crunch. 4 bullets. Fire is not vampire friendly. Aluminium shard, lead plate. Oh, that's a wall. Did I go the wrong way? Probably. Come here, Retto. Yuck. Alright, where's my map? Stop going crazy. Erase the marker there, because that's what's confusing me. I'm gonna go this way. I read that already. To the hospital. This is probably the narrow street she was telling me about. There we go. What's in here? Small bottle. So apparently I have not found the morgue yet. Oh, I'm back in the main blast. So many doorways. There we go. Alright. Use the workbenches and hideouts to craft new treatments and serums or to upgrade your weapons. The old morgue. Alright, time to look around. Glass vial. Find some ferrous tartrate, quinine, and sodium hypochlorite. No idea if I'm pronouncing those correctly. Alright. Found some money. Oh, I guess that takes me outside the building. Rat blood is not as potent or tasty as human source, but it will partially refill your blood bar. And give me a trophy. I hope that didn't put me back out in the main area where I have to go back in again. It did too. Okay, so that was the door that I came in from. Alright, let's try this again. What did that say? Oh, it's just a room number. Let's check upstairs. Oh, look. There's an enemy. Oh, Frankie. Crunch, 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 crunch.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Alright, so quinine and glass vials. More money. I like that stuff that you can interact with or that you need is shiny. More bullets. Wonder if there's a maximum you can carry shotgun shells. Probably is. Watery, sturdy blood sample. Okay then. Alright. Bottle of alcohol.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Underground key. Alright. Local investigations, Milton Hooks. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil succeeded. Thelma. Find out who is spying. Oh, I haven't done that yet. I'll do that later. Do that next, actually. Alright. I was looking for something. I forget what it was. Inventory. Quinine. Opium. Codeine. Ergotamine. This brand new drug that has strong vasoconstriction properties. Is often prescribed to treat painful migraine attacks. Interesting. Never heard of it before. Salicin. Once extracted from castoreum, salicin can be used as an analgesic and anti-inflammatory. Can also help reduce fever. Since the beginning of the epidemic, London has had a shortage. Small dose of watery, sturdy blood that can be used to create regeneration serums for vampires. Ferrous tartarate can be found in many cheap fortifiers for its invigorating properties. Screw, grease, lead rod, lead stick, aluminium powder. Small amount of aluminium powder that comes from a factory can be used as filler metal for welding. Bottle of alcohol can be recycled. Can be recycled. Can be recycled. More key. Swansea's message. Swansea's notes. Photograph in Milton's wallet. Orders. Diary. Crunch, 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 crunch. More quinine. So that's good to know. If there's an enemy nearby, you automatically pull out your weapon.
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Anything else to look at in here? Grab? No. Alright. So let's try going upstairs to the next level. Can't go in there. Watery rich blood sample. Can't go in here. Oh, hi. Where'd you go? Must have spooked him. Let's go downstairs. Oh, look, there's two of yous.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
Where's your buddy? I'll find him after. Bullets. Shotgun shells. Quinine, ferrous tartrate. Can I check you? Some money. Death report. Office of Pembroke Hospital Medical Examiner. Report of investigation. Decedent Samuel O'Connor. Race Caucasoid. Sex male. Age 39. Home address unknown. Occupation fisherman. Type of death natural. Probable cause of death. Fast progressing pneumonia by virus-induced pulmonary consolidation. Spanish influenza. Examination attendees Dr. Corcoran Tippett's Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Name and signature of medical examiner Dr. Corcoran Tippett's.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps?
Okay, I like that you can actually do an investigation kind of like Witcher, it makes me think of.
The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman.
Obviously, it's a different format and layout, but it reminds me very much of the Witcher 3 investigation options.
A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Yeah, I'll do that in a minute.
It's locked, all right.
Use listed knife. Blood absorb. You just acquired a new type of offhand weapon. Equip it and press triangle to directly absorb blood. Okay then. Offhand. Change. Equip. Women equipping with a two-handed... Warning, equipping with a two-handed weapon will unequip your offhand weapon. Makes sense. Do I have another melee weapon? Bludgeon. No. Alright. Glass vial. That was the door I came in from. What's behind this door? Nothing really in here. Huh. I guess because it doesn't... It absorbs automatically, I don't need to feed from him. So it doesn't paralyze him or stun him. This is the room I was just in. So many doors and connections and... What's over here? Ooh, a library of sorts. John Doe.
These scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
I'll get there when I get there. Blood samples, enigmatic formula. Ooh, workbench. Alright, to analyze blueprints. Analyze blood sample. Alright, so... Light blood serum regenerates 60 blood points instantly. Stop jolting around. 2 hands, firearms, recyclable. Alright. You know what? Bear with me just a moment. I'm going to change controllers again. Go back to my regular controller. There we go. So, now that I'm back to using my regular controller, the mouse shouldn't jump, or the pointer shouldn't jump around too much. Recycle, recycle, recycle. I think I'll save this to sell it later. anything else to look at up here?
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Craft the treatment for fatigue. Alright, treatment for fatigue. Craft. Alright. Now let's go find Nurse Crane. Alright. There's the door to go out. Sick citizens can be healed with the appropriate treatment. A healthy citizen helps contribute to raising the health status of the district they belong to. Any rats over here? No. Public notice. Prevent influenza. Spanish. Cover each cough and sneeze with a handkerchief. Walk to work. Do not spit. Drink from your own cup. Avoid crowds. If taken ill, go to bed and send for a doctor. To make a mask, take a piece of ordinary cheesecloth, 8 by 16 inches. Fold it to make it 8 by 8 inches. Next, fold this to make it 8 by 4 inches. The cord's about 10 inches long at each corner. Apply over mouth and nose as shown in picture, issued by the LLC Board of Health. Those directions probably work for nowadays situation too. Quarantine influenza, keep out of this area. Quarantine contagious disease. I feel like I've read these two before. I probably have. Is this the morgue room again? It might be. Yeah, the rotating compass directional thing that's supposed to be the map is more confusing than if it were a mini map in the corner of the screen or something. Those are easier to understand and follow. This was the morgue, I think. Yeah, I literally just left here to come back in. I'll eventually get used to what building is which and where to go. When looking for a citizen, don't forget your vampiric senses. Makes sense. You have your senses, why not use them? Come on. You're almost there. All right. Okay, so this is the back garden of the hospital, I think, or the back alleyway. Back garden, probably. Can't go through that door. What do you? Have I read you before? Yeah. Prevent cases, stay at home. Hey, which doctor are you? Are you Tippets? You are too.
Good evening, Dr. Tippets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
So you left him in the basement.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Alright. Any more questions or things I could talk to? No.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippets.
Ooh, shiny.
This is no time to...
Your city needs you, and life saved by efficient medical aid is blow struck at the question mark of the flu epidemic. Volunteers make the difference.
Just the last thing our patients need.
Alright, Dorothy Crane is over here. No, not over here. Where? Is she above me? Sean, Thomas, Thelma, Milton. I think she's upstairs. Oh no, there's an arrow pointing down. Oh, so it does tell you what floor they're on. There's Pippa. There's Thelma. Rakesh. Ah! You're glowing.
It's locked.
Gotta go around, maybe? Oh, there you are.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Diseases decrease blood quality of a citizen. Use the correct medicine to heal them. Speak to the patients in the room behind Dorothy to check his medical status. Move. Who are you?
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Alright. So she's probably going to tell me to talk to her son first, but I don't see that I'm on a time.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Okay.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
And
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
I agree.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Let's try with Are You That Rich?
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
That's good.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Okay. Nothing else to...
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Alright. Mortimer.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Okay. Press R1 to check the medical status of the citizen. Healing a citizen will increase his blood quality and will reward you with XP. This health status of the district will also improve.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
Alright, give the medicine I made for you.
Sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Alright, treatment for fatigue given.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest. I'll come back.
Falling apart.
Doctor.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Okay, I can't give you any more information
Goodbye,
right now.
Mrs. Goswick.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
Who are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Alright. What's in here? Glass vial. Alright. Blood temptation. Remember, a citizen's blood will provide you with a massive XP boost. Look for citizens of your mesmerized level or below and choose wisely.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Aykroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Aykroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Well, that's just rude.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Aykroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There's no need for such animosity.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, Perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Alright.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Who are you?
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
Oh, it's Dorothy.
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that the Spanish flu was under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
For how long have you been working here, Nurse Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
There's so much to learn on this game.
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane.
Alright. What is that? This is Pippa?
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Can I get more information from Pippa? No, not yet.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Alright, time to go upstairs and talk to Edgar. cheap gin, small bottle. Hacksaw. Oop, what was that? T. Elwood's medical file. Patient Thomas Elwood, male, age 28, followed by Dr. Tippett. Status convalescence. Date of admission September 16th. Date of release to be determined. Notes the patient's face has been heavily burnt and disfigured by a bomb during the war. Even with the use of the strongest sedatives, he affirms to regularly receive severe pain from the wounds, as if the flames are still burning under the skin, he says. Examinations of the cicatrized tissues show no trace of inflammation, infection, or swelling. Scars are clean. Could it be a cause of persisting nerve damage? The patient never ceases to blame himself for his disfiguration. Could it be a cause of guilt of the survivor? Phantom pain manifesting as a punishment for not dying with his comrades? It's possible. All right. Swansea's office.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
Your words bring comfort.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
No need to apologize, or we need each other. Let's go with we need each other.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
She's probably got a kid or somebody who's a vampire. Alright. Go into my room for a sec. Where's my workbench?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Oh, okay. So it automatically puts the extras. Okay, so there is maximum capacity. That answers that question. Alright. Workbench. Cheap bottle gin. Can be recycled. I don't think I could trade that because it's half empty. But I could trade the cigarette case. Alright. Find the staircase. Excuse me. Round and round and round we go. Is she outside? Oh no, she's in the tent.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfields, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Interesting. Let's go with I'm glad to see you.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Alright, I hope this will give me the opportunity to come back and select that one. Because it's golden, it's probably not going to go away if I click on anything else.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Interesting. Okay, questions about vampires.
Pardon my boldness, your ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Okay.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
Okay.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Okay.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Okay. So, before I talk to her, I'm going to go rest and evolve. I love the music in this game. It's subtle, yet powerful. All right. Science. Medical bag. Carry 3 serums. Plus 10 bullets. Increase your life regeneration. Alright. Tactical. Shadow Veil. Spring. Defensive. What are you? Healing. Stamina. Blood capacity. I think I'm gonna upgrade my claws for now. I don't have enough. So let's do health and stamina. And let's do blood capacity. And blood absorption. And let's do medical bag. All right, confirm. Loretta's major district events. Every night the consequences of your actions may improve or degrade the district health status. It can also be degraded due to diseases spreading among citizens. Okay, Loretta Swansboro was lost as meningitis. The more lives you take, the unhealthier a district becomes. If a district's health status drops below the critical threshold, it will plunge into chaos. It is for you to decide of a district's fate. Okay, he's fatigue. He's fatigued. I don't know where she is. I'll have to check later, I guess. So I'm going to call it there because this has been a fairly long video and there's lots more to come. So hopefully you guys are all enjoying it and we'll see you in the next video. And thanks again for joining me in this journey. Bye guys!